When are you going to introduce me to your parents? I asked across her kitchen island. Coffee, 2 mugs, Saturday light. No build-up, no jokes. We were 3 years in. It was time. Lauren smiled too quickly and stared at the sink instead of me. Not yet. It's not the right time. 3 years isn't the right time. They're traditional, she went on, shrugging like it was weather. Holidays are messy. My mom is particular. I don't want to throw you into that. You're not throwing me. I can walk. She scraped a spoon on the rim, clink, clink, like a metronome for stalling. Let me just figure it out, okay? If I'd known where that "not yet" was headed, I would have put my mug down and changed the whole weekend in that second. I let the silence sit. I wasn't going to sell myself at my own kitchen island. She took it as mercy, maybe. I took it as data. By the way, she added, Aunt Joan's garage sale is tomorrow. I told her we could swing by and help with the tables. You're so good with that stuff. A soft smile, a practiced tilt of the head. I slid my phone closer. I'm not helping any more events connected to your family until I meet them. Straight line. No curve. Wow. She blinked. That's harsh. It's boringly logical. If I'm good enough to lift their tables, I'm good enough to shake their hands. Her mouth pressed thin. Don't be like that. How exactly should I be? Invisible with a strong back. She exhaled. You're making a thing. There's no thing. There is now. I pushed my mug aside and stood. I'll be at my shop tomorrow. You go be helpful. She followed me with her eyes, not her feet. You're serious. Lazily serious. I'm done behaving like a relative without the courtesy of the name. She drummed fingers on the counter. So you're punishing me because my parents are difficult? I'm drawing a boundary because you're comfortable with me being background. Those are different sports. I grabbed my keys. I'll see you later. Wait, she called softer. Can we not fight over this? We're not fighting, I told her. I just corrected a schedule. Her phone buzzed. She glanced at it and slid it face down. Dana's asking if you can drive us to the tasting next week. You know how parking is over there. Tell Dana the tasting can survive without my steering wheel. Jake. Lauren. She shook her head, a little smile that wasn't kind. You really picked today. It picked me. I nodded at the mugs. Enjoy the coffee. On my way to the door, she said, I'll figure out the parent thing. Soon. When soon has a date and an address. I replied, put it on my calendar. I left it at that. No guilt, no chase. Done. Dana's rooftop had string lights and those folding chairs that pinch your skin if you shift wrong. The city hummed around us like a radiator, and half the people there were comparing planners for weddings I wasn't invited to. Lauren waved me over. There you are. Drink. I'm good. Dana, tall, sharp, the kind of woman who liked lines that left a mark, leaned on the railing. Jake, our reliable man with a truck. We were just saying how every friend group needs one. I sipped seltzer I didn't want. That role is officially vacant. Since when? Dana raised a brow. Since I stopped volunteering for jobs I didn't apply for. Someone's touchy. She grinned at Lauren. He's in a mood. Lauren slid next to me, hand on my arm like punctuation. He's just joking. Right. I'm fresh out of jokes. I glanced at Lauren. We should talk schedule for next week. In front of everyone? Dana fanned at the air. Please. Spare us the Google Calendar romance. It's simple, I said, looking at Lauren. Tuesday through Thursday evenings, I'm at the shop. If you want to see me on those days, give me a heads up before noon. Weekends, I'm not a driver, a mover, or a walking gift card. If it's not our plan, it's not my plan. Clear enough. A guy in a sport coat I didn't know snorted. Somebody took a seminar. Somebody learned to read a clock, I answered. Lauren's fingers tightened on my arm. Then let go. Jake, can we not lay down laws at Dana's party? Nothing new, I said. Just putting labels on boxes that already existed. Dana tilted her cup toward Lauren. He's making rules now. Adorable. I'm making standards, I said, not lifting my voice. There's a difference you feel in your neck when you sleep. A little cluster of people had turned an ear our way. Good. Witnesses make things real. Lauren caught it and attempted a pivot. Hey, she said brightly to the group. Who's doing the 5K next month? Jake, you should sign up. You need an excuse to ditch the shop sometimes. I don't need excuses, I told her. I have choices. I checked my watch. And I choose to leave in 10. I've got an early morning. Dana laughed. He really is in a mood. I finished the seltzer that tasted like metal. Lauren, we'll talk Monday. Text me a date and address for dinner with your parents. Put a pin in it. She looked embarrassed for me, which is the fastest way to embarrass herself. You're acting like. I'm acting like a man who's not a secret. That's all. A guy named Tyler who knew everybody, but nothing stepped in with an easy grin. You too good? Need a referee? We're fine, I replied. It's simple stuff. Lauren folded her arms. Can you just stay? Please. For what? I asked. So Dana can draft me for the next errand? I'm tapped. Dana's smile thinned. No one made you do anything. Right, I agreed. Which is why I'm retiring from the imaginary team. Have a good night. I set my cup down on a coaster shaped like a leaf and left 5 minutes early. She didn't follow. She wasn't used to me leaving first. That was the point. The next afternoon, she knocked on my door with a pot of chicken soup in both hands like a peace treaty. You cooked, I noted, holding the door. That's new. I'm sorry, she said carefully. I shouldn't have made you feel used. I know you do a lot. I do appreciate it. Really. She glanced at my workbench in the corner. Can we start fresh this week? No tension. Easily, I said. You text me the date and address for dinner with your parents. I put it on the calendar. We show up. We eat. We go home. She nodded, a little too quick. I'll handle it. I took the soup. Thank you. She stepped in and looked around like she was checking the temperature before getting in the pool. Do you want me to stay? I brought bread. I have estimates to finish. I set the pot on the stove. I'll text you later. She took the hint. Okay, I'll set something up. A kiss on the cheek, soft and efficient. Soon. Soon isn't on my calendar. I reminded her. I'll make it real, she promised, backing toward the door. You'll see. As soon as she left, a notification popped up on my phone. An invite she'd forwarded. Kelsey and Andrew, wedding weekend. Her cousin. On the bottom, +1 TBD. I didn't miss the letters. I let the screen go black and went back to work. Hotel's pricey, Lauren said a week later, scrolling on my couch. But Kelsey's family is covering the rehearsal dinner. The gift will be enough. What's the plan for me there? I asked. She didn't look up. You're with me. Obviously. Obviously how? Am I meeting your parents that weekend? She kept scrolling. Let's not make the wedding about us. It's not about us. I kept my tone even. It's about whether I'm supposed to clap from the shadows. That's about me. She set the phone face down. Can you not take the sharpest possible angle on everything? Just come. Be with me. Enjoy it. I'll come, I said. But I'm not paying for your dress, the hotel, the ride, and the gift. We're splitting costs, and I'm booking my own room. I'll see you at events. If I'm introduced properly, we navigate as a normal pair. If I'm introduced as some buddy from work, I will correct it once and remove myself. That's the deal. She blinked. Separate rooms? Since when are we prudish? It's not about prudish, I replied. It's about clarity. We're either a pair or we're not. The room won't fix that. She sat back. You're making everything transactional. I'm making everything visible. You don't like what it looks like when the light's on. That's information. She crossed her arms. Kelsey's weekend is not the time for a power move. I don't move for power, I told her. I move for respect. She stared at me, trying to read how firm the edges were. You'll really book a separate room. I already did, I answered. And I canceled Sunday's cabinet build at your place. You'll need to schedule someone else if it's urgent. Her mouth opened, then closed. You canceled? Without asking. I don't ask to stop doing unpaid projects. That kind of favor lives in a house built on mutual introductions and equal footing. I held out my hand. Also my spare key. She looked wounded. It was a look she practiced in the mirror of every good kitchen she'd been let into. You don't trust me? This isn't about trust. It's about access. Bring me into your life, you get keys. Keep me in the hallway, you don't. Reluctantly, she fetched the little brass key from her bag and set it on my palm. This feels petty, she muttered. It feels adult. I slipped it in my pocket. Text me when you have the dinner with your parents. A couple days later, she showed up at my shop with 2 paper bags and a smile that could sell cars. I brought lunch, she announced, sliding onto the stool in front of my workbench. Turkey sandwich, chips. I even grabbed that lemonade you like. Luis, a coworker with a quiet mouth and a loud laugh, looked up from the truck he was under. Dang, Jake, he cracked, she's feeding you like a king. Lauren smiled at him. He works hard. Someone should show up for him. I had the bags. What's the occasion? No occasion, she said. Just being thoughtful. Also, she brought her voice down. I spoke to my mom yesterday. I told her about you. She said she'd like to meet you. Next week, maybe. We'll set it. Name and date. I said, but I let a corner of my mouth lift. Progress noted. She reached over, squeezed my wrist, and turned to Luis. Jake is great at what he does. He's the reason my car runs. He's the reason my shelves are straight. He's... Careful, I cut in. You'll ruin my reputation. She laughed and slid a napkin toward me. I'll make a reservation for dinner with my parents. Rehearsal dinner. I'll introduce you to everyone. It'll be fine. Luis gave a little thumbs up before rolling back under the truck. Sounds like a plan, he called. I let the lightness in. Not a flood. A crack. She'd made a move. I had to be fair and acknowledge it. That night, I booked my flight and the hotel room, separate, near the venue. I sent Lauren the itinerary. She texted back a string of hearts and, don't worry, I've got the family stuff. It'll be good. The next day, no calendar invite for dinner. The day after that, nothing again. On Thursday, she called as I was locking up the shop. Parents are busy this week, she said, like she was reporting weather. Next week is better. You know how they are. They're imaginary to me, I said. They can be anything. Funny, she replied, not amused. We'll fix it. Promise. Promises don't sit at tables, I answered. People do. The rehearsal dinner was at a restaurant with white tablecloths and a wall of family photos that looked like it auditioned for a calendar. I arrived on time, in a suit that fit, clean shave, no pre-game drink to loosen anything. I wasn't there to be loose. Lauren met me outside with a controlled smile. You look good, she said, scanning me like a TSA agent. Ready? More than ready. Inside, she positioned me at the edge of the crowd like a coat rack. I need to check on Kelsey, she said quickly. Just blend. I don't blend, I replied. I show up. Don't start, she hissed, already halfway turned. Please. I'm begging you. For what? I asked. To not make this about you, she said. Not tonight. I don't need the night, I told her. I need 30 seconds and a label true to life. She was gone before the last word left my mouth. I stood at the bar and ordered water. A bartender with forearms like he lifted kegs without help nodded. Big night, he asked. Late night, I said. Different thing. A woman with the same eyes as Lauren approached, older, careful hair. You must be with Andrew's side, she said lightly, scanning my face for a name tag. Guest of Lauren, I answered. Oh, she said, polite, floating on. Not registering me as anything but air. Uncle Ron, thick hands, a tie that looked like it came with a story, slapped a shoulder I'd kept free. You with Kelsey's work crew? Guest of Lauren, I repeated. Oh. He grinned. Pass me already. Enjoy. Lauren returned 15 minutes later, cheeks bright with the glow of being central. Come with me, she said, grabbing my sleeve. Say hi to Kelsey, then we'll grab seats. Let's do the order right, I countered. Parents first, then cousins. That's how grown-ups do it. She stiffened. My parents are seated with Aunt Joan and the pastor. It's not a good time. There's never time when it's a secret, I said. This is your chance. Her jaw worked. She glanced toward the head table and back. Jake, if you love me, don't put me in a spot tonight. I've never loved a corner, I replied. Last chance. Introduce me as your boyfriend. Or we're on different paths tomorrow. Her eyes went flat. Don't threaten me. That isn't a threat, I said. It's a forecast. Bring an umbrella or don't. She stared at me long enough to realize I wasn't bluffing. Then she lowered her voice. Fine. Tomorrow. I'll do it before the reception. Just give me until then. Before the reception, I repeated. Not during dessert, not in the parking lot. Before the reception. She nodded once. I have to go? Please don't be difficult. I'm easy, I answered. Truth tends to be. Cousin Tyler showed up with a grin and a glass. He was exactly the kind of charming that can ride a disaster like a surfboard. Lauren tells me you're handy, he said, side-eyeing me. Kelsey's new place could use a guy like you. Plenty of guys like me, I said. They come with labels. He laughed. I hear Lauren's mom has strong preferences. Doctors, lawyers, that type. I'm a simple man, I replied. I prefer honesty to job titles. He clinked my glass, even though it was water. Good answer. He leaned in, voice medium low. Just so you know, Aunt Joan thinks Lauren's still playing the field. Might be why you're not getting the grand tour. He smiled, teasing but not cruel. Don't shoot the messenger. I don't shoot messengers, I said. I change routes. He nodded, amused, and wandered off. I finished the water and left early, again. Not angry. Clean. The wedding was a showcase. The kind of ceremony where everyone pretends they hate public attention while checking their reflection in every shiny surface. I showed up on time, sat on the aisle, and kept my mouth shut. After, I drifted toward the small storm of people around Lauren. She gave me a smile measured in teaspoons. There you are, she said. Okay. So, my parents are, they're busy. But at the reception, we'll. You said before the reception, I reminded her. Things changed, she answered. I need you to be flexible. I'm done bending, I said. My spine's not a drawbridge. She took a breath, like she was letting out air from a tire. Please, just get through dinner. I'll handle it then. No. Her eyes flicked to the cluster of relatives nearby, calculating how loud I planned to be. I saved her the energy. I won't be loud, I told her. I won't be dramatic. I'll be precise. She swallowed. Just sit with my friends at table 9. I'll come by in. Table 9, I repeated. Where am I labeled? What? On the seating chart, I said. What does it say next to my name? She delayed. That half second was enough. Friend of the bride, she murmured. That's not a label, I said. That's camouflage. I had to, she hissed. It's complicated. Life is complicated, I said. Labels aren't. The DJ called for guests to take their seats. The room flowed toward tables. Lauren leaned in. Please, she said. Do this for me. I'll do this for me, I answered. Watch how clean it is. At table 9. I took my seat. The couple to my left, Andrew's cousins, math teachers, were kind, chatty, curious. The woman across from me asked if Lauren and I had known each other long. 3 years, I replied. Oh, she brightened. So you're. Lauren materialized, bright as a stage light. Hey guys, she chirped. This is Jake. She rested a hand on my shoulder like she was blessing a chair. He's just a friend. The word just hung there, small and loud at the same time. I looked at her hand, then at the table. Correction, I said evenly, not leaning forward, not making a show. My ex. Silence, fast and deep. Then the small sounds came back, forks, glasses, some whisper that always follows a cut that clean. Lauren's smile froze. Jake, what are you? I stood, folded my napkin, and set it by the plate. I took the small envelope from my jacket pocket and placed it on the table in front of me. This goes to Kelsey. She knows why. I looked at the math teachers. Congratulations to them both. The man nodded, eyes wide. The woman glanced at Lauren, then at me. Okay, she said soft. Okay. Lauren's voice dropped to a register meant for dogs and children. Can we talk outside? We don't need outside, I answered. We needed truth. You chose an audience, not me. Please, she said, a whisper with edges. You're making a scene. I'm making a decision. I slid my chair back. Lauren, good luck. I let that sit, then added, find someone your mother can introduce without blinking. I won't be one more shadow. I turned and walked. Not fast, not slow, just done. At the bar, the bartender met my eyes, already setting a glass of water. You good, he asked. Better than that. Ride. Already booked. I touched my phone. My bag was at my hotel, my room prepaid, the key card in my pocket. I'd set the escape route the same time I set the boundary. At the door, I heard quick steps behind me. Dana. She grabbed my sleeve. Are you out of your mind? I've been in my right mind this whole time, I said. Today makes it obvious. You embarrassed her, she snapped. No, I corrected. She did that. I just stopped participating. Everyone's talking, she pressed. Perfect, I said. Then the message got through. Lauren didn't follow. She knew chasing would make it worse for her narrative. I gave her that much dignity. Outside, the night wasn't cool or poetic. It was a parking lot and a curb and a car pulling up where I told it to. I got in and didn't look back. I checked out the next morning before the brunch. I left a note at the front desk for Kelsey. 2 sentences, congratulations, and a simple line. I bowed out so your day could stay yours. No explanation, because explanation feeds gossip. On the drive home, I set the rest of the pieces. I removed Lauren from my gym membership. I texted my contractor friend that the Sunday project at her place was off indefinitely. I canceled a weekend away I'd booked months ago and redirected the refund to a tool I'd been putting off. I cleaned the passenger seat of my truck of her hoodie and blanket and left them folded on her porch with the spare key on top. No note. The items speak fine. By noon, my phone lit up. Lauren, we need to talk. I let it sit. Dana, you need to apologize. Today. I muted her. Unknown number. This is Aunt Joan. I don't know what you said to Lauren, but I blocked it. There are enough strangers with my number at work. I didn't need donations from that table. At 5, a call I answered. Mike, my oldest friend, a man who laughs like he hits a nail. Rumor mill's hot, he said. You good? I'm steady. She tell you to kick rocks? She told a room I was a friend, I replied. I told the room I was her ex-cleaner that way. He whistled low. That'll bruise. Only where it was already tender. You coming by the garage tonight? He asked. I am now, I said. Bring a beer. I'll bring the story. We tinkered with an old engine and let the talk wind. No pity. No pep talk. Just two guys, tools, and a decision that felt like a straight back. The next day, Lauren showed up at my place. No soup this time. A tight dress like armor, heels, hair that meant business. Can I come in? She asked. You can talk on the porch. She stepped close enough to smell like something expensive. You humiliated me. You lowered the floor, I said. I merely refused the basement. You could have waited, she said. You could have given me a chance. You had chances, I answered. 3 years of them. Her voice softened like she'd found a new script. I was protecting you. By hiding me? I raised an eyebrow. That kind of protection looks a lot like storage. She shook her head. You don't get it. My family prefers a resume to a person. I finished. You should let them date then. She stared at me for a long time and tried the last tool in the drawer. I'll introduce you now, she said, urgent and sweet. Tonight. Come to dinner. I'll call my parents. We'll make it happen. That's generous, I said. But you're a day late and a title short. They'll love you, she insisted. I'll tell them everything you've done for me. How steady you are. How helpful. I don't qualify for that program, I said. I'm not auditioning to be helpful. She took a breath and squared up. Then what do you want? Respect, I said. Yesterday. Her eyes glossed, but no tears fell. She wasn't crying. She was calculating. So that's it. That's it. You keep your comfort. I keep my dignity. We split the difference and call it wisdom. She looked at the key on my porch table, at the neatly folded hoodie. I didn't think you'd actually do it. People rarely do until you've done it. She glanced down the street like a witness might help. No one walks by when you need a crowd. She adjusted her hair, found her voice, and went blunt. You think you're the only one who can walk away? I hope not, I said. You should walk toward what you actually want, not toward what looks good in pictures. You think that isn't you. You proved it. I opened the door behind me, not as an invitation. Take care, Lauren. She stepped back, 1, 2 steps, then turned and went without another word. This time I watched her leave. It wasn't dramatic. It was geography. Life after a clean cut is quieter, but it fills in. I moved my timeline forward on things I'd deferred. I found a small house outside the city with a yard barely bigger than my truck, but a garage that made me want to whistle. I took a long weekend and drove north. Found a lake where the morning looks you in the eye. I bought a used bike because my knees don't like running, but still like wind. I added 2 more clients to the shop. I slept 8 hours and woke up to my own coffee with nothing owed to anyone by 9. People will ask about someone else's life even when it's none of their business. Dana texted me a month later. You could have handled it differently. I deleted it. Luis told me Lauren's family was puzzled why I blew things up. I laughed. I didn't blow anything. I stopped propping up a wall and watched it fall under its own promises. Mike introduced me to Emma, a friend of his sister, smart, dry humor, a nurse who didn't tell you about it unless you asked, and then only in complete sentences. We met for breakfast. No theater. Halfway through, she said, So what's your schedule like? I hate guesswork. I like that sentence more than most vacations. We built slow, visible, real. After 2 months, she walked through my door holding a houseplant with a name tag. This is Ruth, she said. If she dies, we're not compatible. I laughed. Ruth lived. I ran into Tyler at a hardware store in the fall. He caught me in an aisle with bolts and pieces I pretend to understand. Heard you bought a place, he said. Congrats. Looks good on you. Thanks. He rubbed the back of his neck. Family's still talking about that wedding exit. Half of them think you're a villain. The other half think you're a legend. Both groups can have fun, I said. He hesitated. Lauren, she moved in with a roommate. Things are tense with her parents. Not that it's your problem. He winced. Sorry. That sounded. It's fine. I cut him off. I hope she figures out what she wants without a committee. He nodded, thoughtful for once. You did what you had to. I did what I said I would. I corrected. That's the whole magic trick. On the first snowy day, Emma and I hung a shelf in the garage that actually held weight. We stepped back, admired the straight line. She bumped my shoulder. This is nice, she said. The slow kind. That's how I want it, I told her. She looked at me like she understood the sentence before it finished. No secrets. No additions. Just names and dates, I said. On the calendar. She smiled. Deal. That night I grilled in the cold and didn't pretend it was romantic. It was just dinner under a sky that didn't care about anyone's last name. My phone buzzed on the workbench. Unknown number. I let it go. The machine picked up silence and set it down again. I flipped the meat, thought about the wedding for maybe 10 seconds, and then didn't. That's how endings work when you let them. People think punishment is loud. Mine wasn't. I didn't take anything from Lauren she hadn't offered to strangers. I took back what was mine: time, backbone, a seat at a table of my choosing. She lost what she'd been trading on: control, comfort, status as the woman with a man waiting in the car. Those things don't belong to you if they fall apart when someone stops clapping. I still remember the moment at that table. White linen, a fork I didn't touch, her hand on my shoulder like a prop, and the two words that ended a long, slow misunderstanding. My ex. Not cruel, not theatrical, just accurate. I went home after, eventually, to a house where my name is on the lease and my tools are on the wall. I slept because I was tired, not because I was drained. In the morning, I made coffee and sent an invoice and texted Emma a picture of Ruth because the plant had a new leaf. No audience. No script. Just a clean calendar and a life that fits. If there's a lesson, it's not complicated. Don't negotiate your label. Don't work for a seat you'll never be allowed to keep. When someone says, "not yet," for 3 years, they mean not you. And when you hear it,